Most people think they have more time to talk, more time to apologize, more time to say what they feel, until one day, they don't. This is the story of James, a man who learned the true cost of regret. Years ago, in a small house at the edge of town, a young boy named James would sit near the front door every evening. He wasn't waiting for a friend. He wasn't waiting for a gift. He was waiting for his father to come home. The moment he heard his father's motorcycle stop outside, he would run toward the gate with excitement. And every evening, his father would greet him with the same smile. "There is my champion." Then he would lift James into the air and carry him inside. Those were James's favorite moments. On weekends, they rode through town together on his father's motorcycle. Sometimes they stopped for ice cream. Sometimes they sat by the river and talked about life. To James, his father wasn't just his father. He was his hero. As the years passed, their bond only grew stronger. When James ranked first in class, his father proudly showed the report card to everyone. When James won a drawing competition, his father celebrated by taking the family out for dinner. Life wasn't perfect, but James never doubted one thing: his father loved him. Then when James was 14 years old, everything began to change. One afternoon, James told his parents he would be staying at school for a special coaching class. Instead, he spent the entire afternoon with his friends at a nearby gaming center. He laughed, played games, and completely forgot about the coaching session. By evening, the school called home. The teacher informed his father that James had skipped the class without permission. When James walked through the front door that evening, his father was waiting for him. He wasn't shouting. He wasn't angry. That somehow made it worse. The teacher had already explained everything. For the first time in his life, James saw disappointment in his father's eyes. "Why did you lie to us?" his father asked. James lowered his head. He had no answer. The scolding lasted only a few minutes, but before walking away, his father said something James would never forget. "I trusted you." Those 3 words hurt more than any punishment. That night, James lay awake staring at the ceiling, and for the first time in his life, he felt guilty. The next morning, something felt different. His father barely spoke during breakfast. James assumed he was still angry. The day after that, his father skipped their usual evening motorcycle ride. A few days later, he stopped asking about school. The laughter became less frequent. The conversations became shorter. The warmth James had always known slowly began to disappear. And in James's mind, the reason was obvious. He believed his father had never forgiven him for that mistake. But James didn't know the truth. For several months, his father had been experiencing occasional chest pain. At first, he ignored it. He told himself it was nothing serious, but the pain kept returning. And during those same days, he finally decided to visit a doctor. After several tests, the doctor gave him news that changed his life forever. "You have a serious heart condition." The room fell silent. His father listened carefully. Then he asked, "How much time do I have?" The doctor looked at him and said, "We don't know. You may live many years, or something unexpected could happen tomorrow. There are no guarantees." For the first time in his life, James's father was afraid, not afraid of death, afraid of leaving his son behind. That night, he sat beside James while he slept, looking at him quietly, thinking about all the moments he might miss: his graduation, his future, his wedding, the life he might never get to see. Many times he wanted to tell James the truth. Many times he wanted to explain why he seemed different, but every time he stopped himself. "I'll tell him later." The years slowly passed. James grew older, But the distance between him and his father only grew wider. The laughter that once filled their home became rare. The conversations became shorter, and the bond they once shared slowly faded. James never understood why. He still believed his father had never forgiven him for that mistake. Then came his 18th birthday. His mother prepared a small celebration at home. A cake sat in the middle of the dining table. She called James to join them. His father was already sitting there. As James took his seat, his eyes fell on an old photograph hanging on the wall. It was from one of his childhood birthdays. His father was standing beside him with a big smile, one arm around his shoulder, the other holding the birthday cake. For a moment, James remembered those days, the laughter, the happiness, the feeling of being loved. He secretly hoped things would be different this time. Maybe his father would smile like before. Maybe things would finally return to normal. Instead, his father simply looked at him and said, "Happy birthday." Then he quietly continued eating. That was all. No smile, no conversation, no warmth. That night, James sat alone in his room, staring at the old photograph. And once again, he told himself, "He's still disappointed in me." As the years passed, that belief became stronger. One misunderstanding slowly became a wall. When James graduated from school, his mother was the first to congratulate him. She hugged him proudly. His father simply nodded and said, "Well done." Nothing more. James smiled, but deep inside he felt the same disappointment he had felt for years. Later that evening, his mother found him sitting alone. "You know your father is proud of you, right?" James shook his head. If he was proud of me, he would say it. His mother wanted to tell him the truth. Many times she had tried to convince her husband to speak openly, but every time he gave the same answer. Later, years continued to pass. James completed his studies, found a job, and slowly built a future for himself. The distance between father and son remained. They lived under the same roof. Yet they felt worlds apart. Then one day, James received a job offer from a well-known company in another city. It was the opportunity he had worked toward for years. Better salary, better opportunities, a chance to build the future he had always dreamed of. When he read the offer letter, he couldn't stop smiling. For the first time in a long time, he felt excited about what lay ahead. He couldn't wait to share the news with his family. So that evening, he rushed home to share the news. His mother smiled immediately. "We should celebrate." But his father remained quiet. James waited. Just once. He wanted to hear his father say he was proud. Instead, his father asked, "Do you really have to go so far away?" James looked confused. "This is my dream." "I know." His father lowered his eyes. His condition had become worse over the years. He was terrified. Terrified that something would happen while James was far away. Terrified that he would run out of time before telling him the truth. But once again, he chose silence. "Can't you find something closer?" he asked. James didn't hear concern. He heard doubt. Years of pain suddenly came rushing back. His mother quickly stepped in. "He's worked very hard for this." But neither of them listened. James looked directly at his father. "Why are you like this?" No answer. "Why can't you be happy for me?" Still nothing. His mother tried to calm him. "James," but he continued, "When I was a child, you were my hero." His father's eyes shifted. For the first time, pain appeared on his face. "I spent years trying to make you proud. I got good grades. I worked hard. I did everything I could." His voice trembled. "But after that mistake, you changed. You stopped believing in me." His mother immediately interrupted. "James, that's not true." But years of hurt were finally pouring out. "You never trusted me again. You never looked at me the same way." His father opened his mouth. For a moment it seemed like he was finally going to tell the truth. About the diagnosis, about the fear, about everything. But the words never came. And that silence broke something inside James. Tears filled his eyes. "If you're disappointed in me, fine. But I'm tired of spending my life trying to earn your approval." Then came the words he would regret forever. "I don't need you anymore." The room fell silent. His mother began to cry. "James, don't say that." But the damage was already done. Years of hurt, years of misunderstanding, years of unspoken words had finally exploded. His father stood there quietly. For a brief moment, tears filled his eyes, but he quickly looked away. James grabbed his bag and walked toward the door. His mother followed him. "Please don't leave like this. Talk tomorrow if you have to." But James shook his head. "No." As he stepped outside, he turned around one last time. His father was still standing there, watching him. Neither of them knew. It would be the last conversation they would ever have. Life moved on. James built a successful career in the new city. Months became years, but his mother never stopped calling. Every few weeks, her name would appear on his phone. "James, when are you coming home?" "Soon, Mom. Your father asks about you every day." "I'll visit later." A few months later, she called again. "Your father kept your room exactly the way you left it." "Nothing has changed." James smiled. "I'll come soon." But he didn't. Another few months passed. Then one evening, his mother called again. "James, your father stood outside looking at your old bicycle today. He still talks about the days he taught you how to ride it." For a moment, James felt a lump in his throat. "Next month, Mom." "I'll come next month." But next month never came. As the years passed, the conversations remained the same. His mother asking him to come home, James promising he would, and every promise ending with the same word: later. What James didn't know was that his father was doing exactly the same thing. Every time he picked up the phone, he put it back down. Every time he wanted to tell James the truth, he postponed it. Later. One afternoon, while visiting the city for a medical checkup, his father stopped near James's office. From across the street, he watched his son walk out of the building, confident, successful, independent. A proud smile appeared on his face. He wanted to walk over. He wanted to tell James how proud he was. He wanted to explain everything, but he didn't. Later, the same word he had been telling himself for years, the same word that had slowly become a habit that would one day become his greatest regret. Years continued to pass. Then one morning, James's phone rang. It was his mother. The moment he answered, something felt wrong. She wasn't crying, but her voice was trembling. "James." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then came the words James would never forget. "Come home." His heart sank. "What happened, Mom?" But she couldn't answer. The silence said everything. James drove home as fast as he could, his mind filled with fear. And when he finally arrived, the house was already filled with people. Relatives, neighbors, friends. No one needed to explain. The silence told him everything. His father had suffered a sudden heart failure during the night. He was gone. Just like that. No warning. No goodbye. No final conversation. No second chance. As James stood there staring at his father's photograph, one sentence echoed through his mind. I don't need you anymore. For the first time in his life, he wished he could take those words back, but he couldn't. The funeral came and went. Relatives returned home. The house slowly grew quiet, but James couldn't find peace. Every corner of the house reminded him of his father. The empty chair in the living room, his reading glasses resting on the table, his favorite coffee cup in the kitchen. For the first time, James realized how much of his life had been shaped by a man he barely understood. And with every passing day, the regret only grew heavier. Then a few days later, one of James's friends came to visit him. "There is something you should know." James looked up. "What is it?" "Your father used to come near your office." James frowned. "What?" "He'd stand across the street and watch you. He never came over. He just looked at you and left." James felt his chest tighten. His friend hesitated for a moment. "Do you remember 3 years ago when you were struggling financially?" James looked up. Of course he remembered. A major project had failed. Bills had piled up. For months he barely managed to get by. His friend continued. "One day your father came to see me. He asked how you were doing. I told him you were having a difficult time." James stared at him. His friend swallowed hard. "The money I gave you back then, it wasn't mine." James felt his heart stop. "What?" His friend nodded. "Your father gave it to me. He told me to help you if you ever needed it. But he made me promise not to tell you." For a moment, James couldn't speak. His friend looked down. "He was proud of you, James. He talked about you all the time. He just never knew how to say it." James felt his chest tighten. Everything he thought he knew suddenly felt uncertain. That night, unable to sleep, James entered his father's room. Inside a drawer, he found a diary. His hands trembled as he opened it. The first pages spoke about the day he was born, the day he took his first steps, his first day at school, his first achievement. Every important moment of James's life was there, written in his father's handwriting, page after page, year after year. James turned another page. A photograph slipped out. It was an old picture of the two of them sitting on a motorcycle. A younger James was smiling. His father had written beneath it, "My favorite day." The tears began to form. He continued reading. Then he found an entry written shortly after his teenage mistake. "James thinks I'm disappointed in him. I wish I could tell him that's not true. He's just a boy. We all make mistakes." Another entry. "The doctor says my condition is getting worse. I wanted to tell James today, but not today. Later." Another page. "Today was his birthday. I bought him a gift, but I couldn't bring myself to give it to him. Later." Another page. "I saw him from across the street. He looks strong. I wanted to tell him I'm proud. Later." James kept turning pages, and with every page, the weight of his regret grew heavier. Then he reached the final entry. The handwriting was weaker, shakier, as if every word had taken effort. It read, "James, if you're reading this, then I probably ran out of time. There were many things I wanted to tell you, many conversations I kept postponing. I thought there would always be another day. I thought there would always be more time. I was wrong. The greatest mistake of my life wasn't my illness. It was believing that later would always come. If life teaches you anything from my mistakes, don't wait too long to say what matters. Love the people you love. Speak the words you need to speak, because one day, later becomes never. And if there is one thing I want you to know, it is this. I have never been disappointed in you, not once, and I have always been proud of you." James could no longer hold back his tears. For years he had waited to hear those words, and now he finally did. But the one person he wanted to hear them from was gone. In that moment, James understood something that would stay with him forever. His father wasn't the only one who waited. He waited too. His father waited for the right time. James waited for the right time. Both believed there would always be another chance, and both were wrong. Few things in life are more painful than regret. Not because of what happened, but because of what didn't happen. The words we never said, the calls we never made, the opportunities we never took, the dreams we kept postponing, the people we thought would always be there. Many people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect day, the perfect time. They wait to start that business. They wait to chase that dream. They wait to apply for that opportunity. They wait to tell someone how much they love them. They wait to apologize. They wait to forgive. They wait to visit their parents. They wait to spend time with the people who matter most. And sometimes they wait too long, because life doesn't always give us another chance. Tomorrow is not promised, and neither is the opportunity standing in front of us today. One day the dream may no longer be possible. One day the opportunity may be gone. One day the person you wanted to call may no longer answer. And when that day comes, all that remains is regret. So if there is something in your heart, say it. If there is a dream you have been postponing, start today. If there is someone you appreciate, tell them. If there is someone you need to forgive, don't wait. If there is a chance you have been afraid to take it. Because the most painful words in life are often not, "I failed," but "I never tried. I never said it. I never did it. I thought I had more time." Don't let later become your greatest regret.